guys, Dan here with Everreal. I want to show you really quickly how you at home can replace the element on your oven. It's very easy to do, and you don't need to pay someone to do this. And in the pandemic era, it's hard to get handymen, handy women out to your house. So I'm going to show you how to replace this baby. So first step would be to identify your model number and make sure you go to a supply store to get the right element. You can just pull this element out with a couple of bolts. It just slides out of the slot. You can see the bolt fittings there on this side where the foam is, and we're going to be putting that back in. And you can just see the connectors. Very simple connection on the other side of the oven. Well, it's pretty easy to do. The one thing that I noticed when I did this, I haven't done this before, is when I pulled this out, the connectors kind of went back into the oven and the insulation in the back of the oven. Not a problem. Just make sure you pull off the back panel of your oven and you'll be able to push and feed those connectors back through to make your job easier. Let me show you how you get moving forward on this and how easy it is to do this. Ours completely snapped and then like lit a white flame and was like melting. So it's a big time danger. Don't run your oven when you're not home. As a result of this, you could start a fire in your house and it would be bad. So replace these, check your elements every now and again, make sure they're intact. Okay, so here's the oven in question. I took this opportunity, I'm going to see this as an opportunity to clean my oven. So I just used some oven cleaner, sprayed it in there overnight, let it soak, and it's about as clean as it's going to get. It's an oven. It's going to be a little dirty, and I'm okay with that. So this is where it's the bottom element here. Had it been the top element, not a big deal. Similar procedure, but kind of inverted. So a little more difficult in that aspect. So the element's just gonna kind of sit there in this, where the circle is. It's gonna hang out, that's what it does. And then right here is where those connectors are, and you can't see them now because they're pushed back with the insulation. So we're gonna go to the back of the oven and feed those cords back into the oven so we can connect them to the element. So here's the back of the oven with the panel off. Set that aside and you'll see all your wiring. So we're working on our bottom element. See our top element's here. Bottom element is here. And there's that insulation you can see from the other side. So these got kind of pushed back in. You'll see the positive and negative side there. You're just gonna kind of feed those through. You may need a tool to push those through, and then we'll have access to connect that to our new element. One thing to note while you're working back here is unplug your oven, and you don't want any chance of those connections being hot while you're working on the oven. We got a lot of voltage and amperage here on this bad boy, but now we can just make sure we don't do any kind of electrocution. All right, so let's take a look. We have both our connectors showing on each side, and you can only put this element in one way. You'll see the way it sits, so that'll be the way that you feed the connector on, and you'll see it sits on these risers. It is kind of hovering. I'll kind of just set it in there so you can see. So we're just gonna kind of flush it up, and it's gonna sit in that orientation. We'll lace that up real quick, and I'll show you the rest of the procedure, but pretty simple from here. All right, so I connected them, and you can just kind of see how this is pushed all the way onto the receiving end on both sides. So they're nice and flush. We're going to kind of just push this, guide this back into our insulation and slide it up. We'll check the back too, just to make sure wires aren't hanging weird. And then we're gonna take our screws, our 2 screws, and just screw that back in. And then we will be set to give it a test run. All right, we've screwed it in. It's looking good, flush. I'm gonna go to the back of the oven, and we're just gonna take a look at our wiring really quick. And you'll see they kind of got pushed back in here, which is okay. But you just want to make sure that connection didn't get lost there when you did that. In fact, what I could have done alternatively is screwed, not even mess with moving the wires. and pushing the element through, and then just connecting on the back side. And I'm just gonna kind of move these wires around to make them nice and flush if I can. And then we just don't want connectivity on the back of this unit either. So it looks pretty good. We're gonna give it a test, plug it in real quick, and keep our face away from anything. Just kind of push. It's a stout connector for sure. So I don't see any fires or anything. That's great. Great start here. Clock is on. We'll just test our oven light to make sure that connectivity is working, and we're gonna put it on bake 350 and see what happens here. Listen for noises, weird things going on, and you'll see it's already kind of burning off of film, so you're going to want to turn some venting on, but we are getting connectivity and all is looking well, and we have a working oven again, so that's great. Hope this helps, and we'll talk to you guys later. This is Dan with Everreal. Have a good day.